Thank you. Okay, we are here in Senate Institutions. It is Friday, May 2nd, and this meeting is to consider two proposed amendments to the Capitol bill. And I just want to let the folks know if they're interested in the meeting that is on our calendar for 1 p.m. We're not going to do that today. We will have that probably on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So we have the sponsor of the amendment, of the First Amendment here. So if you would like to introduce yourself and discuss the amendment, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me, Chair Harrison. My name is Becca White, and I'm one of the 3 Windsor County State Senators, along with Joe Major and Allison Clarkson. We're also joined today by Elizabeth Burrows and Jonathan Bartholomew, who are the representatives for Windsor and for this area, including a few other towns, which I'll hold that up. So you have an amendment before you. I think everyone has it on their desks. I don't know if you saw it. It's an amendment to H494, and it is related to the Southeast State Correctional Facility. The amendment was drafted by Jonathan Gray. So if you have any specific wording questions or anything that you want to discuss with Legislative Council, I would direct you to them. But I'm happy to give a little bit of a narrative form of how we got here and why we're introducing the amendment and then what it does.
Sure.
Okay. So the Southeast State Correctional Facility since 2017 has been relatively underutilized. And it's in Windsor. There have been multiple reports, studies, conversations back and forth between Building and General Services and also Fish and Wildlife to try to figure out what to do with this property. And it's becoming an extreme frustration for the residents of Windsor and the surrounding communities who feel that they have been given very limited opportunity to use this property for its best use, which they feel is their decision to be making. And they've also been caught in the bind where, due to the lack of decision making by the state, due to the lack of forward movement, they have no ability to really sell or advertise the property. So we're stuck in this unfortunate rock and a hard place where no decision has been made, no clear plan has been created, and we're in this milieu between those things where we're having a piece of property that the state is maintaining for, my understanding is around $250,000 a year for really no purpose. So the amendment itself seeks to amend the Capitol bill to have that by December 15th, 2025, the Commissioner of BGS, assuming Wanda Manoli at that time, will have to submit an actionable plan. Very clear, we don't want another report. We want an actionable plan to decide what would happen with that facility. We would like the commissioner to work with the stakeholders and review previously submitted commission's reports. Those reports include a report in 2021, a report in 2018, and then a more recent report. I'm not sure if the committee reviewed this when they took the Capitol bill up, but you also received a report in March of this year for the transfer of certain parts of the property. So I don't know if your committee reviewed those, but that is, at least in my view, how I read the language, things we would like to have considered in the plan, as well as other reports that were done by the Regional Planning Commission. Due to the severity of this situation where the people of Windsor have not been able to address their housing needs, their commercial business needs, or the property's use at all, we're also asking in the next subsection that the buildings and property be transferred to the town. You'll see that we have December 15th, 2015 is when we expect the plan. And then January 15th of 2026 to actually have the property be transferred to the town. We've been waiting since 2017. We think it's time that the town be given a fair shot at this. We also know that there's some very unsafe buildings in that property. And you can, I would refer you actually to the report that was done back in 2021, where it actually is cited that the legislature needs to appropriate additional funding for the site outside of present maintenance to support the demolition of unwanted and blighted structures. So you've already had multiple reports saying that you should do that. So we would like those removed, and we would also like to have the sum of $2 million paid to the town to facilitate any redevelopment. So that's the proposed amendment, and I'd love to answer any questions.
It's a quite extensive amendment.
Yeah, it's only 2 pages.
Well, it requires a lot. So, do you folks have anything to say or okay. So, does anybody on the committee have any questions? Okay, so, I guess I should ask, why didn't you come earlier?
I know we had spoken to legislative council early in the section about provisions within the capital bill, and due to capacity issues, those were not moved forward.
Okay, so so I can let you know what we have done and what we intend to do. So last year, this committee did get a report from a study from the Regional Commission. No, it was different. It was actually a really well done site plan as a concept. It wasn't a specific proposal.
It was the Tom.
It was Tom Kennedy worked on it. We had that. It was great, actually. It was a really good explanation of what could happen there. My plan has been to look at the way that the state disperses or disposes of property overall, because right now the statute says that we need to get fair market value whenever we either sell or we can't. But technically, we're not supposed to sell give away property. I think personally, we should consider that when we're looking at towns in particular. I think that there's a rationale for donating property. So that is on my list, and this should certainly be part of that conversation. There are multiple properties around the state that could apply to. This is a really wonderful property. I've been there. We don't have a date. We had a couple of dates scheduled for us to visit the property. And it would be great to have the town of Windsor in here when we have those conversations. That would be terrific.
I know we have the town manager and others potentially watching on Zoom now. So
yeah, I'd like to hear from them, not just, it's really important. And so this is there's a lot to unpack in this. And so I think this amendment is, this isn't the right time for this amendment because it hasn't gone through this committee's process. And it's an important process. It's not just for process sake, but we need to know all the information. So, and I do know, just for the record, that the House Committee on Institutions did take testimony last week about this property. So it's still in action in this building. All right. So anybody?
Do you think
other comments? Yes.
Representative John Bartholomew, Windsor 1. I would just say that in any deliberations about the property, the state should be looking at whether it's the state or the town, what happens with that property and its impact on the wildlife management area, because that wildlife management area is a jewel. Definitely. And we don't want to adversely affect what we've created there.
Definitely. And that's what those of us who were on the committee last session, we heard about that. And that's why I really wanted the committee to get physically on the property too, because it's wonderful. And, yes. And it has water and sewer. So it's extremely valuable and it's ripe for development. And yeah, so that's where we are. So, okay, just quickly, please. Yeah.
What would your recommendation be for us to say to the constituents we have in Windsor about what the state is doing this year?
You can let them know what I've just said.
So is there a section of the Capitol bill where you have an updated request around the town transfers piece? I didn't see that.
No, because we need to discuss that and get testimony. We haven't received any testimony. That's something we need to work on with BGS and with Ledge Council and probably others.
So
So we need to follow our process. This is just the first year of the biennium. We actually have a few weeks coming. If the folks from Windsor want to come and,
yeah,
let us know what their thoughts are in the next few weeks, that'd be great.
great. I would think we would be happy to schedule something. I do just want to point out, I don't think it's unreasonable to do the first section, which is to section A, which is on or before December 15th, to have the Commissioner of BGS
It's very
submit an
unreasonable,
actionable plan.
actually.
No,
It's very, very unreasonable.
we do not, our procedure, and I think it's what we need to do, is we need to have those folks in the room when we're talking, when we're proposing, a study like this. So let's, are we ready for straw poll, or we can do?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing second reading to this. We have to, if it's being presented today, the amendment.
Well, I would like, yeah, and so I would like this committee to recommend that the Senate not approve this amendment, not because we don't want to do things with this property and we don't value this property, but because it's premature.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, just mostly on timing.
Well, I obviously disagree because this has been just too long. And I think we need to push this forward. So I would be of the four of us, I would be the one hold out.
Okay, so that's 3-1. So that's valuable. Well, we voted, Senator Clarkson. Did you want?
Man, hi, I'm so sorry I'm late, but Allison Clarkson, for the record. I apologize for being late, but we just ended our committee. I would ask that perhaps the Committee of Conference might take it up as something that has been in this committee for consideration for 10 years and might consider discussing it in the Committee of Conference. That is, I would make that request. This is such an old issue and it is a drag on the economy of Windsor. And it is something your 3 Windsor district senators care deeply about. And we really need to move forward for the town of Windsor. It's really just been such a drag, and our 2 fabulous reps. I'm sorry, they're here. So I would hope that you might be able to consider it in the committee of consideration. Yes, it is a committee of consideration, the committee of conference.
Right, assuming that there is one, but there likely will be one. I can't make that.
I'm just putting it out there as a request.
I am one. Yes, and I don't know if you're here, but if the town of Windsor wants to come in the next few weeks, that's fine, and we should have more time generally. But right now we don't have that much time. So thank you for what you're saying. Okay, so I think we are done with that.
Well, I'll
Thank you.
plan to present the amendment on the floor. And then assuming that you'll have a report on your results of the vote that you took, or do you want me to say that in my?
I'll say it, or if you can say it, come on. Just
ask me.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Do you have an
Thank you for
amendment
being
too?
here. That was
Oh my
helpful.
God, Nora said.
both of you actually. Okay, so no, we're still online. Okay, so Senator Norris, thank you. And we go to the floor in 20 minutes, so.
This won't take long. Good morning, senators, Chair Harrison. What you should have in front of you is draft 1.1, page 94, 8851, 2025 at 427.
I don't know, do you have that?
No, I don't.
Okay. We saw a draft.
Just see it. I had one first
Could
printed
we-
out here because I didn't see it either, so.
Shoot, are you able to? I can send it. Can you send it to Linda? Or maybe we
I have
go
a hard copy.
get a We really do need
Let's
a
take a
copy.
peek. There you go.
Okay,
We just forwarded
got
the
you. Okay,
email.
thank you.
There should be an
And-
attachment on that.
And is it the most recent email?
The one that Jonathan Gray sent to. Let's see, to
Okay, so
you,
you have it there.
me, Andy, Scott, oh,
Okay,
not the rest of the committee, okay.
right. Well,
Sorry.
because now it's not from our committee, it's from
No, right.
Senator
No, it's
Norris
all
and
on.
Senator Birchlick.
So-
Right, I started with that, but
And
it-
Joe's on there, but no one.
Okay.
Russell's. But Lindy should have.
Okay, so maybe Senator Ingles can look over your shoulder because the rest of us.
You just
need
got,
it. Okay, so why don't you explain it to us?
Okay, for the record, Senator Bob Norris, Franklin County. Senators Norris and Birchlick move the report on the committee of institutions be amended in section 19 fiscal year 2026-27 capital projects. Fiscal year 26 appropriations act intent authorizations and subsection C by striking out subdivision 13 in its entirety and inserting in lieu of a new subdivision 13 to read as follows. To the Department of Housing and Community Development for Hope Rural Recovery to establish a new recovery residence in Salvers. The cost of $250,000. And I believe earlier, we've had discussions about this. It was placed in there inadvertently as a competitive rank process. It wasn't at first, so how did it get changed? It came from appropriations that way,
yeah.
okay, so after further delving into this, it's nothing that this committee did, it came from appropriations and the folks just followed along with it, so.
And,
But
and
the
just,
intent was not to make it.
no, and we had multiple changes of language when we were finalizing our bill, so that's what happened. I just want to find this section. Do you know the section
Oh,
of where it is so that the person who's supporting it, section 4?
line 13, oh, sorry. Yeah, line 39.
Okay, so that's you, Senator Plunkett, good. So then you'll be aware of it if there's any questions. And we're going to focus on the spreadsheet and when we do our report, so the spreadsheet doesn't need to be fixed because it's representative. Okay, so I think this is a reasonable amendment. And I would
Yeah.
hope that the committee would support it. Okay, so I'm seeing nods. Okay, 4 nods. Okay. So I think that's all we need. So
For your time.
thank you.
All it takes to get $250,000 out of this room?
I'll be back.
All right.
Don't hurry.
All right.